Why hello, I didn't see you there. I'm kidding, I did, you're a camera, I can totally see you. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of You Learn Something Every Day, the first episode in our Halloween series, Halloween hijinks, or whatever you want to call it, because I sure didn't come up with a name for it. Anyways, thanks for dropping by. You may notice that I'm dressed as a spaceman. And fun fact before we start the episode, this is a spacesuit that I actually wore in the 3rd grade for some kind of career day style thing where we dressed up as famous people. I was Neil Armstrong, as it kind of says there in paper. You probably can't read that. And this fits me exactly the same as it did in 3rd grade. I'm not even kidding. Anyways, let's get into the meat of the episode. I'm dressed up as a spaceman because today we're going to be talking about space, but enough about me talking about me. Let's get to me talking about what we're learning about. And we will begin right now. Now, we're talking about space and sound traveling through space, which was really popularized by the phrase from the movie Alien, "In space, no one can hear you scream." And it's commonly accepted that you can't hear anything in space, but that's not 100% true. First, let's get into the idea of sound. Sound travels through the surrounding medium in what we call mechanical waves, which are simply vibrations in some kind of surrounding medium, be it water, air, or any substance around you. And in space, which is a vacuum, there is no medium for these waves to travel through, therefore sound can't be emitted, right? Well, that's not necessarily true. You see, first of all, space isn't a perfect vacuum because there's the Earth, there are planets, there's sun, there's like all this stuff inside space, meaning that it can't be a vacuum because a vacuum is the absence of all matter. But let's move on from there. There's also the idea of radio waves. Now, this is a bit cheaty, I guess, but radio waves are different from mechanical waves. They're actually electromagnetic waves, which don't really need a medium to travel through, so with the proper receivers and transmitters, we can hear radio waves in space. Of course, that is kind of cheating, as I said, so I'll try and get to the cooler fact. There's this thing called bone conduction. Sounds pretty spooky, doesn't it? Doesn't it, Mr. Skeleton? Yes, it sounds very spooky. You heard it from him here first, folks. Anyways, it's not actually as spooky as it sounds. Now, how we hear is through 3 very tiny and extremely complex bones in our ears that are able to parse the vibrations they hear from a surrounding medium and turn them into electrical signals that our brain comprehends as sounds. So, if anything really vibrates, our ears should be able to pick it up, which is the idea of bone conduction. Bone conduction is the fact that your bones vibrate through any sound. Say me talking through a microphone. If you're listening to this without headphones, or even with headphones, your whole body is slightly vibrating to my voice. And how bone conduction works is, say, in space, you're hugging the International Space Station, or something, some kind of spacecraft. You'd actually be able to hear it as your bones vibrate, and the sound is brought up through your jaw, into your lower ear, into those 3 very complex bones, which perceive it as sound. The only problem with this, of course, is this requires having no spacesuit in space, which would lead to asphyxiation within the next, say, 30 seconds. So I guess while it's true that no one can hear you scream in space, if they are hugging you, that would work out. And cut. Okay, awesome. That was under time by a fair amount. I'm pretty happy about that. I hope you learned something today, because a lot of people generally accept that you can't hear sounds in space, and that's not actually 100% true in the most sense. There are a lot of subtle things that we can actually pick up in space, though they might not be sound as we first perceive them. Thanks so much for dropping by for this first episode of You Learn Something Every Day. Be sure to head on right over to Fright Night after this. There's a link right here on screen flashing, something like that. It's also in the description. You have no excuse not to go to it unless you really, really, really don't like scary stories, but this isn't so bad. Anyways, thanks so much for dropping by. I'll see you guys in the next episode of whatever that may be. Don't forget to live long and peace out. Bye!